everyone, and welcome back to Creative Introvert Entrepreneur Podcast, a show that helps entrepreneurs who are introverts build your business brand online. Hi, I'm Kim Beasley, the founder of this podcast, and one of my favorite things to say is Introverts Unite! I love this saying because I want to inspire you to be successful at building your business brand online. The focus for this episode is so you can meet Tom Hunt, who is the creator of Bcast, which is the tool I use to host my podcast. Tom will be sharing how businesses can use content to grow faster online. And not just using content to generate leads and sales, but also using content to network, sell, and partner with other players in your niche. Welcome, Tom.
It's a pleasure to be here, Kim.
I'm so glad to have you here. I'm going to share a little bit more about you, and feel free to share more after I mention these things. Tom loves to build and grow software businesses. Before that, he studied chemistry at Imperial College London and followed the herd to a management consulting job in the city of London. I totally understand that because I did the college and I did the working in corporate America kind of thing. And just like him, I got bored and he got bored. and then he built a marketplace connecting online entrepreneurs and virtual assistants from scratch while traveling the world. And then guess what? He sold 90% of it. Yes. So today he has a podcast hosting company, as I mentioned, for marketers, Bcast. And then he has also created and is growing the world's most profitable podcast for B2B businesses, which is called Fame. And the links for both of these will be in the show notes. So don't worry about not hearing me say the links. You'll be able to check the show notes to find the links for those things. And you can also find him hosting the Confessions of a B2B Marketer podcast and Write as SaaS Growth Case Studies. Woo, that's a lot. You got your hands full, Tom. How do you do it?
I think the key really is to have very good people in your team. Because you can still be the forefront of different things, but if you have really good people in the background, then you'll still find, like, for example, Jack Dorsey, who's the CEO of both Square and Twitter, both massive companies, but really he has insanely good leadership teams in both. So I think that's the key, is having good people.
I truly agree. So one of the first questions I always ask, are you an introvert or extrovert or an ambivert, which is a mix of both introvert and extrovert tendencies?
I would say I'm an introvert.
Ooh, so you're going to have some really good secrets to share. What does your business focus on and how can it help introverts?
So I think let's focus on Bcast and Fame. So all we're doing is helping businesses start and grow profitable podcasts, either with Fame, which is the agency, and so that's the service, or with Bcast, which is the software. And I actually think that podcasting is a great medium for the introvert because
yes,
you obviously to listen, you're listening on your own with headphones, but B, if you host a podcast, for me, even being an introvert, I still really enjoy the process of hosting a podcast. And maybe I have the definition wrong, but it's more like when I'm in social spaces with loads of people that I get really tired, not necessarily one-on-one. Yeah. And so I think podcasting is a great medium for that. And so what we do is basically just help you do that, help you like grow the podcast, help you make it profitable. And you did mention kind of the core thing, the core ethos behind both brands is that actually podcasting is great to build an audience, but it's actually also potentially more powerful to build relationships with people. And so that's really what we focus on with those two brands.
I love that. That is so true. And as an introvert, a lot of people, they're surprised when I say I'm an introvert, just because when you see me in public and I seem to be an extrovert doesn't mean I'm like that all the time. When I'm not called on to be an extrovert, I literally am quiet. I'm in my corner reading my book. I am just chilled. I don't have to have all the extrovert tendencies operational 100% of the time. So if there was one tip you could offer introverts that will help them build their business online, what would that tip be?
So I think being an introvert, you prefer to do everything on your own and not be around people, which is great, because to build a business, you have to do that. And if you're just an extrovert and you're great at selling and you love talking to people, you're never actually going to get any work done. So I think, and maybe this is a bit self-serving, but I actually think it is worth starting a podcast, because what that will do is it will force you to build relationships with people and to be around people, because you do need both.
I agree.
You need the strength of the extrovert, which is forming win-win connections, but then you need the strength of the introvert, which is like actually doing stuff. And a podcast is a great way to kind of force you to get the benefits from the extrovert side.
I love that because that is so true. That for me, podcasting allows me to get that talking out that I need to do without having to be on camera. I am always that person that, okay, I'll take pictures, but being in the pictures, I have to work up to it. And I love your tip about podcasting. Introverts, you really can excel at podcasting. I really believe that. So how can a small business use content to grow their business online?
Yeah, so I think the way to look at this is, first it comes down to understanding who the person is that you're helping, right? And so ideally, if you have a business, you should have a good idea about exactly who that is and exactly what problems you're solving. And of course, your product, whether it's software, whether it's a service, or whether it's information, will help solve those problems. And so all content marketing is understanding what those problems are and starting to solve the problems that are slightly upstream from the ones that your product or service solves, and doing that with information, right? So let's just give an example, right? Let's say you make a special tool. It's a physical product that helps people grow tomatoes, right? It's very expensive. It costs $100. But if you're a tomato grower, you really need the tool. And so the content play here is really understanding what's the problem that this person will have upstream from when they need the tool. And let's just say it's like selection of tomato seed. And so what you do is create either, it could be video, it could be audio, or it could be written, like the ultimate guide to tomato seeds. And it could be the list of the 100 different variations, and pictures of them, and videos of them, and writing about them. And so maybe audio wouldn't be the best here. It's basically a big blog post with videos in. And so you post that, and then the people who are soon to have the problem that your product solves are going to find that on the internet if it's good, right? Yeah. If it ranks for the term tomato seed. And so then you'll have the people there that you'll be adding value to their lives, and they'll then, once they have selected their seed, they'll be like, okay, well, so I need the tool. They'll look up, be like, oh, you guys sell the tool, and then they buy. So that's a very simplified version, but it's what are the problems you can solve upstream from what your product or service solves, and how can you solve those for your customers with information?
Oh, wow. That, and taking that ideal, that thought, and taking it and saying, okay, as a podcaster, you can share your knowledge. You can share your knowledge as you are growing your business, and when you share that knowledge and you use specific keywords, when you put your podcast online, your podcast can be found. There are some really easy things you can do with your content that will that will help you get found online. That leads us into the next question. How do you get started with content marketing?
Yeah, so I think it comes back to really understanding who the person is that you're helping with your product or service, and then what their problems are. That's the first thing. If you don't have that right, nothing's going to work. Mm-hmm. So let's just say you have that. The next step is literally just to start publishing stuff, whether it's audio, video, or written. Because when you start publishing stuff, you A, are going to learn more about it, because the best way to learn is to teach. B, you're going to get feedback to understand what stuff is actually helping people and what isn't. And so then if you keep doing that over time, if you're consistent, then over time the content will get good enough, because you're going to be learning more and you're going to be getting feedback. And so it's basically understanding who it is, understanding the problems you're going to solve, and then just being consistent. So like publishing every week for a year, for example. And if you do that, something will start to work.
I love that. Since I've been podcasting, I've noticed I do it once a week. I am consistently putting out podcasts on Thursday, and I can see that my numbers are going up because not only because I'm consistent in putting things out every Thursday, also because I'm doing the content marketing where I'm getting it in front of people and on social media, and people are listening to it. And one of the really great things I like about Bcast is that I can embed that podcast into my website, and people can listen to it on my website, or they can listen to it on my webpage, or they can listen to it on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all over. So that's part of that content marketing. So what are the benefits of content marketing for introverts?
Yeah, so I think the core benefit is that for your business, you need to find a way to get customers. And what content of, you could look at every podcast episode or every blog post as like a mini salesperson. So they're out there doing the selling 24/7 for you. So you don't have to be like knocking on doors or calling people up and asking them to buy. Do you know what I mean? And so the content still has to add value, right? But if you can add value and kind of still sell your product, that's the holy grail. And so the benefit is you don't have to do the selling. Your army of blog posts is going to do the selling for you.
And with podcasting, it's kind of like content on the go. People can download your audio and listen to it as they are out and about or cleaning around the home. It's not something that you have to have in hand. You can listen while you work. And I love that about podcasting. So we're at the point in the podcast where I like to give a weekly challenge. So one of my favorite things about weekly challenge is that it encourages introverts to take action. For this week, I want to challenge you to check out Bcast and sign up so you can start your own podcast. Yes, you can do this. I believe in you. As an introvert, I find it comfortable to do podcasting because I don't have to be in front of the camera, as I mentioned before. So my final thoughts for today. I want to thank Tom for sharing about using content to grow your business fast online and talking about content marketing. And I want to thank him for joining me for the Creative Introvert Entrepreneur Podcast. Check out the show notes to connect with me online or to follow me on social media. And also you will find the links to where you can connect with Tom. If you like this episode, please share it with your friends and family. Remember, introverts unite! Be sure to tune in for my next episode. See you next time. And thank you, Tom, for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.